Hey Pi Pioneers! I know exactly how you're feeling right now. You're probably sitting there looking at your Pi wallet, wondering if you've been wasting your time for the past few years. The internet buzz has died down, YouTube videos about Pi are getting fewer views, and honestly, it feels like the whole world has moved on. But here's the crucial point everyone's missing. While we've been focused on price speculation and exchange listings, Pi Network just secured partnerships with Chase Bank, HSBC, and Kakao Bank, three of the world's most powerful financial institutions. This isn't about when Pi will hit exchanges anymore. It's about Pi becoming the backbone of global banking infrastructure. What if I told you that while everyone's been looking the other way, Pi Network has been quietly positioning itself to replace the entire international money transfer system? Listen, I've spent the last month digging into information that most of us Pi holders don't even know exists, and what I found literally made me lose sleep. Before we dive deep into this, make sure you follow my Telegram and Facebook page links in the description below. I share raw, unfiltered Pi updates there that I can't always put in these videos. You know what? After today's revelation, you'll definitely want to stay in the loop because things are about to get wild. While we were all focused on when Pi would moon, like other cryptos, Pi was playing a completely different game. Pi Network has been forming partnerships with some of the world's biggest financial institutions: Chase, HSBC, and Kakao Bank. Now, I need to be real with you here because this is where it gets interesting. You know what, when I first heard about these partnerships, I was skeptical. I mean, we've all been burned by crypto promises before, right? But here's what changed my mind completely. Chase Bank serves over 80 million customers. HSBC operates in 64 countries. These aren't some small fintech startups looking for publicity. These are institutions that have been around for over a century. They don't make partnerships lightly. When traditional banks that typically hate crypto suddenly want to work with Pi, that tells me something big is happening behind the scenes. My honest opinion? I think Pi's approach of working with the banking system instead of trying to destroy it is genius. While Bitcoin maximalists were declaring war on banks, Pi was building bridges. That's either the smartest crypto strategy I've ever seen, or we're all about to learn a very expensive lesson. But based on what I'm seeing, I'm betting on the former. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, the global consensus value. A majority of Pi Network pioneers are supporting the idea that one Pi should equal $314,159. I know, that number sounds absolutely insane when you first hear it. You know what, when I first saw this figure, I literally laughed out loud. I thought, there's no way this is serious. But then I started doing the math and researching the psychology behind it. The number comes from Pi's mathematical value, 3.14159. It's not random, it's symbolic. And you know what's really interesting? Real events are happening around this value. There was a GCV event in Karnataka, India, where actual pioneers came together to discuss and support this pricing model. Now here's where I need to level with you. If you're holding, let's say 100 Pi coins, and you're thinking, you're about to become a millionaire overnight when Pi hits some exchange, you might be setting yourself up for disappointment. But if you understand that the GCV is about creating an internal economy where Pi is the currency, not about converting to dollars, then it starts making more sense. My honest opinion, the GCV concept is either revolutionary or delusional, and I'm still figuring out which one. What I can tell you is that if even 10% of Pi's user base truly believes in this value and starts trading accordingly, we could see some incredible economic experiments happen. I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'm also not betting my house on it. Here's something that really impressed me about Pi. They've built a network of over 60 million users before even fully launching. You know what? Bitcoin took over a decade to get to where Pi is now in terms of user adoption. Ethereum still doesn't have this many active participants. That's not luck, that's strategy. I've been watching Pi communities in Nigeria, India, the Philippines, and other countries where people are actually trying to use Pi for real transactions. It's not widespread yet, but it's happening. Small merchants accepting Pi, services being traded for Pi, local communities creating their own Pi-based economies. My honest opinion? This grassroots adoption is what gives me the most hope for Pi. Forget the banking partnerships and the GCV dreams for a moment. When real people start using something as money, that's when it becomes valuable. I'm seeing early signs of this with Pi, and it's more encouraging than any partnership announcement. Traditional finance is struggling right now. Inflation is eating everyone's savings. International transfers are still expensive and slow, and people are losing trust in government currencies. Pi is positioning itself as the solution to all of these problems at exactly the right time. You know what? The timing almost seems planned. While central banks are experimenting with digital currencies, Pi already has a working model. While banks are trying to figure out blockchain, Pi has millions of users already familiar with digital currency. While governments debate crypto regulation, Pi is working within the system. My honest opinion? The timing is either coincidentally perfect or brilliantly orchestrated. Either way, Pi is positioned better than any other crypto project to actually become a global currency. That doesn't mean it will, but the pieces are in place. Pi Network could revolutionize global finance and make early adopters wealthy, but it could also fail, leaving millions with worthless tokens. I've seen many projects promise the moon and deliver nothing. And while Pi hasn't taken money, only time and attention, it has asked for hope, which is even more valuable. The partnerships, user growth, and community energy are real, but they can also fade. And what matters is whether Pi delivers when it counts. In my view, Pi has a better chance than most, but it's no guaranteed lottery ticket. I'm mining because it costs nothing. I'm following the development because it's fascinating, and I'm hopeful but realistic about the risks. If you've been mining Pi, keep at it, and if you stopped, maybe give it another look. But don't quit your day job, don't spend money you can't afford to lose, and don't bet your future on any cryptocurrency, including Pi. You know what? The most successful crypto investors I know aren't the ones who put everything into one project. They're the ones who stayed informed, managed risk, and positioned themselves for multiple scenarios. That's exactly what I'm doing with Pi. My honest opinion, Pi represents one of the most interesting experiments in digital currency that I've ever seen. The combination of mass adoption, banking partnerships, and community-driven economics is unprecedented. Whether it succeeds or fails, it's going to be educational. Pi pioneers, I want to leave you with this thought. We're not just holding digital tokens, we're participating in a massive social and economic experiment. The outcome isn't guaranteed, but the journey is fascinating. You know what? Regardless of whether Pi makes us rich or teaches us an expensive lesson, we're witnessing history. The fact that millions of people around the world can coordinate around a shared vision of value is remarkable. Whether that vision becomes reality remains to be seen. If this honest take on Pi's potential resonated with you, hit that like button. If you disagree with my analysis, let me know in the comments. I read every single one. Subscribe if you want more real talk about Pi Network without the hype and false promises. You know what? I'd rather give you the truth than tell you what you want to hear. Don't forget to follow my Telegram and Facebook pages for daily updates and honest discussions about Pi's development. The next few months are going to be crucial for Pi Network, and I want to document this journey with all of you, whatever happens. Stay realistic, stay hopeful, and most importantly, stay informed. See you in the next video, where I'll be breaking down the latest Pi developments with the same honest approach. Until then, keep mining and keep thinking critically about everything you hear about Pi Network, including what I just told you.